Adam has arrived.
Hey, Maurice and HOde wanna take over like Zach and Cody. Black and Snerdy is the best podcast. Gonna boom like Wile E. Coyote. Gonna meet magic, they move like they hairy. Ain't talking about mental health, no, it's not scary. You know that she coming up with the astrology. Mo got a comic and that's the best policy. Maurice the GOAT, talking about animation cause you know. HOde, she moving wavy like the boat. Watching some movies and she taking notes. Yeah, kick back, listen. Black and Snerdy have risen. Upload on a mission. 5 stars, never dissing. Black and Snerdy, ooh. Black and Snerdy, yeah. Black and Snerdy.
Hey, welcome everybody to the 101st episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast.
101.
I, of course, am Maurice Kid Licorice, aka or Mo, aka Kid Licorice. Sorry, I
forgot.
Yeah, sorry. Y'all know me as Mo. Y'all don't need to know my government.
And I'm HOde.
Yes, and together we are the Black and Snerdy podcast, the only podcast where two sexy nerds who are black come together and talk about a bunch of stuff. Like we're here.
We're queer. Get used to it.
Get used to it. Or if you're already used to it, thank you. And thanks for having us here. How have you been? It's been some time.
It's been, our last recording was
I want to say it was either in November or December. It had to have been before the holidays.
Yeah. So it's a new year.
Yes.
It's a new us.
Yes.
It's a new season.
Arguably, new year, new us, same old bullshit.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of same old bullshit, shall we toast?
Yes, we shall.
Our 101 episode.
Yes. And oh my goodness, this is gonna take some. Sorry for those of y'all who are listening to the podcast in audio realm. We are also we are broadcasting this on YouTube as well.
Yes.
So this is recorded. This is our first foray into YouTube world.
Yeah.
We're excited. You know, we're
doing new stuff. We said we're new year, new things.
Yeah.
We have a new setup. We have new equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So we look different.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you like it. If you don't, send us some money so we can buy better equipment.
Yeah, like we can upgrade this if you give us money.
Yeah, that's what we need. So
otherwise, this is just how it's gonna be.
Just like it. You get what you get, and you don't get upset.
So how about we take a quick toast to new beginnings, and down the hatch we go. That's how we bring in the new episode. So for those of y'all who this is your first episode, we are two people who have known each other for years. We're HU alum. HU,
you know.
And we like to get together to talk about the bullshit that's been happening both in our lives and in the realm of, you know, like sometimes it's music, sometimes it's anime, sometimes it's the stuff that I'm interested in, sometimes it's the stuff that HOde is interested in.
We are talking about a myriad of topics
because we are not a monolith.
We are not. You know, you're gonna get some pop culture,
mm-hmm.
maybe some geopolitical politics.
Maybe.
You'll get a dash.
You'll get
a sprinkling.
You'll get like a Mrs. Dash worth of
Mrs. Dash.
Dash.
A dollop.
Yes. Well, a dollop feels like that's too much. Have you ever eaten a dollop of anything?
Well, they tell you to have a dollop of Daisy.
What is that? Is that like a saying?
The sour cream, a dollop of Daisy. The Daisy sour cream. That's the main one.
Nobody has ever said that to me at all.
You don't
the
remember
sour
that commercial?
cream? No.
Yes, the Daisy sour cream.
I don't remember any sour cream commercial.
That's the main one I remember.
All right. Well, you know, how about you show me this after?
I will show you. I'm find it for you. But yes, we've been gone for some months. Now
gone
we're
for
back
a minute. Now we're back with the remix.
With the jump. Oh, I was gonna do the jump off.
Okay, with the jump off. Yeah.
Little Kim, Queen Bee.
Yes.
And a lot has happened.
Yes.
We've had some changes, some rearranges, some updates. And I would say the last few months have definitely been very interesting. A lot of adulting has been occurred.
So much adulting.
We have, I feel like a lot to talk about. I've recently changed careers, or I won't say I've changed careers. I've left my previous job.
That is a change in and of itself.
It's a change.
Like you changed careers by going from a career to not having one.
Yeah, I'm on fun employment. I'm on fun employment.
Fun employment, yes. And how are you in fun employment? We chronicled a lot of my adventures and forays into fun employment on this very podcast.
We did.
I believe
now it's my turn.
It was episodes like 50 through 100,
or
90,
year.
All of last year.
From March until
November. You saw all of the states of various states of highs and lows I've been in. How are you feeling about it? What state are you in right now?
I feel like I'm just coming out of like the burnout, exhaustion state of just like being in a very intense space and having a lot of stress and anxiety.
Sure.
And, suicidal ideations.
Folks, where's the lie?
But as I have not thought about unaliving myself at any point. So in the last few weeks. So I personally feel like I'm living the dream.
What a dream that is.
Just
a dream.
To be happy to be alive, I think is a great dream. That was Martin's dream.
Yeah, well, I feel like he had a dream. I don't know if that
was one of them.
That was one of them. Like a lot of people don't realize that Martin had multiple dreams.
Yeah, it wasn't just one.
It wasn't just one. It was there's the one famous one.
But of course he had more. I mean, like you don't just ever have one.
He had a dream about waking up for a math test and not having his pants on.
Going to do a speech in front of a large audience naked.
He had a dream about his teeth falling out.
Falling down some steps.
Yes, he had a dream where he was flying.
Yeah,
so many dreams. I will say this. That is a reoccurring dream of mine, is that my teeth are falling out. And
there's
I know
there's something about that, and I don't remember what it is, but I know teeth falling out, waking up in like high school, or like going somewhere naked. Like those are like really like the big ones that people generally have,
and there's meaning tied towards those things. I just don't know of it off the top of my head.
I don't think
I've seen it before.
Like I don't think every single dream has a meaning. I think sometimes it's just like your subconscious is firing off on all these different cylinders. But I do feel like when you have dreams that are really intense that you remember, I think those are dreams where you kind of have to be like, what's going on? But yeah, I mean, I think that right now where I am in my fun employment is really trying to center myself and be intentional about whatever I'm going to do next. And not follow the money, but follow my heart, because I think that is what is going to bring me money, and fulfillment, and one step closer to whatever my dreams may be. I have so many of them, and I'm hopeful that I will be able to be courageous enough to stick it out and find something that is going to both be the place I'm supposed to be at, as far as like gainful employment and a job, as well as something that will also make me happy, or as happy as you can be working. My dream is not to work. Like that's nobody's dream. But I'm not a trust fund baby, so I need to.
If you could get paid to not work, that would be a heavenly dream.
Could you imagine?
Like that, like what's his face just did a bit about how rich people like say that they're busy, but they're really doing nothing.
Yeah.
And I realized that just by watching Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those episodes is literally just Larry walking from doing nothing to doing nothing, and then finding the minutia of in between all of the doing of nothing.
He goes to get like his, lunch at the random.
He's on an airplane to go do nothing.
He's hanging out at his friend's house, having dinner, going to random events. It's nothing. Like I want to be,
where the people are.
Want to be where the people are. But like when I choose to be.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean that's been my main thing. A lot of big things have been happening. One, moved.
Yes,
we talked about before in our last episode.
Yes. You have we moved in together. I think we already mentioned that like in our last episode. So we are now living under the same roof.
Yes. So that's one thing.
The Mo and Odie house HOde.
House HOde?
Yeah. The Mo and Odie house HOde.
All right.
That might be the episode title.
Listen, write it down. Also, I rehomed my dog, Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
He is with a foster family,
mm-hmm.
Which was a very long and taxing, arduous journey. But I want to say shout out to you.
Folks, where's
that?
One day you'll learn these things.
Day I will. Shout out to you because I feel like throughout the course of the rehoming, 1, you were super supportive. 2, you were super understanding. And 3, you helped me to navigate that situation, as well as like the difficulties I was having at work, and you kept me grounded, you kept me sane, and you reminded me of what was important. And I really appreciate that.
Oh, no worries. No worries. I'm grateful for sorry to cut you off. No. I'm grateful for the kind words. It's easy to support somebody that you care about and you know that they're going through something difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So at least for me, it's easy to be there and be supportive. And I'm happy that you came out on the other side of it, with this experience under your belt, in a positive way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like things could have gone any number of ways.
Yeah.
There were some dark
days,
directions that things could have taken, but they ultimately went to the direction that ultimately leads to happiness on all fronts.
Yeah. So rehomed my dog, moved, left my job.
Yes.
Which was
in short succession. Each of those things happened back to back.
Yeah.
Like in the span of like
3
months.
Yeah. It was a lot.
Your first quarter of the year has been fucking crazy.
It's been very chaotic.
Yeah.
And I will say that, like, even though it's been very chaotic, 1, like I said, I feel like you have been a great backbone.
Yeah.
And a support system. And I really appreciate that, because I think if this was any other time, or if I was dealing with things on my own, it would have been a lot more sad and depressing.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you have definitely affirmed me and uplifted me and helped me get through all of this, and been, like I said, very supportive in a way that I can make sure that I am making moves in a way that is helpful to me, both mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, etc.
And I will say this, you have affirmed me as well. I specifically mean affirm the payment tool that you use to put things on layaway. You have definitely affirmed me. Half of the new things that are in this apartment got purchased through Affirm. So shout out to Affirm. And the couple of thousand of dollars that you will be getting from me in small increments of $10 to $30 a month for the next 18 months.
The firm in Klarna could just sponsor us.
Yes.
We are card carrying members.
Look, listen, Klarna, a firm. Like, we use your product all the time, okay? I just used the firm not too long ago to get some XLR cables that I misjudged the size of, and now they have to go back.
But we were able to use it, at the very least.
Yes.
So that's been my last few months. How have you been doing? You have a new job that you started in November.
Which I can never talk about.
You're doing new things. You're learning new things.
I will reference my job here and there, but by and large, nobody will know what my day job is. Okay, Like, no one needs to know. Just know that I get up in the morning, I put on clothes, I wander out into the streets, and then for several hours out of that day until I get my black ass back home, I'm doing it. I'm moving and shaking. Like, she's quick, but I'm quicker. She's sick, but I'm sicker. That's what I'm doing. I'm out there.
Let me ask a question. Within this last, let's say, since we recorded, can you name 3 things that have made you happy?
Wow. I wish I had known that you were gonna ask this question.
Off the cuff.
Okay, yeah, sure. Off the cuff. Okay. One, in no particular order, actually.
No particular order.
1, PlayStation 5. Sony, you can also sponsor us because I play that play. A lot of teenage boys out there do not have a PlayStation 5. And I have so much enjoyment knowing that I have a PS5 and I'm using it to play Risk. That's right.
It's a great game.
I can play Fortnite and Call of Duty and Ghost of Tsushima. I hope I'm saying that last game correctly because it is a masterpiece. It's a really, really, really good game. I haven't played it in a while. I might have to pick up the sticks and do it in a little bit. But no, I'm playing Risk.
Risk is great.
Yeah,
I love Risk.
It's honestly like it's the closest one can get to like like de-stressing yourself.
Oh yes,
after a long day of
it's
work.
De-stressing through colonization.
Exactly, through colonization.
Now I understand why the Europeans loved it so much.
It's fun. It's fun to take over a continent.
You get fireworks.
Yeah, exactly. You get fireworks. You get the taste of the person sitting right next to you being like trying to hold it in that they're very frustrated, but they want to be a good sport about it. It's all good. It's all good. So that's 1. 2, just being gainfully employed.
It's a big thing.
And being, well, I can't say that on here. There's a certain term that I've been saying since I got my new job, yes. but I unfortunately I cannot say it. Just know that it had to do with the it had to do with my job. It's a little bit of a specific thing, but I won't leave y'all in the lurch. Let's just say I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that bitch.
Yeah.
I don't know the rest of it.
Oh,
I just remember.
You secure every bag and you never take any shit.
Yeah, yes, I secure every bag.
Well respected. You're a king.
Well, I'm not protected. No, people can come up and punch me right in the face if they do not like the things that I have to say. Yeah. So I am grateful to be gainfully employed at a location that honestly I do find interesting, and I learn something new about it every day. And last but not least, I am grateful for the small circle of important people that are in my life. I say it's a small circle because while I have family and friends and any number of individuals out there, like I have curated a very specific small circle of friends and family that I can count on maybe 2 hands, probably 1, but maybe 2 hands. And just interacting with them, talking to them, speaking to them, seeing them day in, day out. They have been a boon to my life. And to all of y'all, shout out to y'all for having my dumb ass in your life. Because, and not to down myself, I just know that I can be a lot sometimes. And, you know, everybody that's in my circle has strong fucking shoulders for this big head of mine. So,
It is big.
Yes, I didn't. You know what? Hold on. I have a new drop, and I'm not sure when to use it.
I'll use it.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to use it. I want it to be a surprise. Okay, but like, it's as disrespectful of a drop as I could find.
Of course it is. Of course it is. That tracks.
Shall we? Is there anything else that you want to chop it up about, or shall we move into the bullshit?
Well, did you want me to answer the question about the 3 things that I've been, or I feel like I said 3 things.
I feel like you did, even if I didn't ask it. Like you know, grateful to. What are the 3 things that you're grateful to?
Are you sure you want to know?
Sure.
No, I probably said
the
them.
reporter's questions.
I think I did say them. 1, I'm grateful to have moved in here and you know, being able to create this space here with you. I'm grateful that Brooklyn got rehomed and is with a fun, great foster family. And I'm grateful to be free of the oppressor, in whatever way that may be, and to be able to create the life that I want for myself in a way that suits me best, using all of my natural gifts and talents. So that's how I feel. You know, Freedom by Beyonce is one of my favorite songs. And I
or Freedom by George Michael, which we can't play now that I think about it. Oh man, that's the one thing that I will miss.
Okay, but can we play it and talk over it?
That I feel like we could play snippets of it, but yeah,
play 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm going to talk over it while you play it, so we can see if that's going to change.
That's no.
You think that's
no. It's not.
Tricky?
Honestly, it's not worth it. If I could, you know what? How about this? I will write down that I need a freedom drop.
Yeah, but what if we just, during the editing portion, we could just edit a piece of the song right there.
Yeah, but I know the editor very closely. They are a very close friend of mine, and they have instructed me that they want to do as little bit of editing as
Perhaps
possible.
your editor could find an assistant to help that would love to learn how to do
the editor would love an assistant to be able to help and take over sometimes, but the editor, by and large, these heavy projects,
I think this is something that
and putting it in.
I think that this is something that the assistant could help with, because the assistant would love to learn about how to edit.
Okay.
As fully as the main editor does.
All right, I'll talk to the editor.
So let's talk to the editor.
We'll talk to the editor and see how that shapes out.
Bring someone on.
Yes.
But yeah, okay. I think we've done a recap. We've talked about what we've been
listeners / viewers have gotten a taste of our flavor. Our
zhuzh,
our joie de vivre, our je ne sais quoi, our freedom fries. Like, y'all have gotten a taste of who we are. Now you can see us. Shall we slide our way into the bullshit with a little bit of pop culture? Oh yeah, I forgot that was there.
To cut that up part.
Yeah. My bad. Sorry.
Well, let me say honestly, I want to say that.
And here we go. This must be
pop. I feel like the months that we were on our break, so much shit happened.
Yeah, everybody lost their fucking minds.
So much shit. Like, it was just like another thing after another thing after another thing. And so we're not going to talk about all those things.
We're not going to talk about
it's
every
too
single
much,
thing.
honestly.
Yes, it really is.
But we are going to talk about things that have happened fairly recently.
Relatively recently, yes.
Relatively recently, and some things that may have been, that were big enough for us to discuss, that are ongoing, and, you know, that we are tuned into.
Yes.
So the first thing that I want to posit to you is the idea of rap beef.
Okay.
Because
thank you for positing the idea of rap beef.
The idea
just
of
the very
rap
concept.
Beef. Because, well, first of all, before we go into the most recent rap beefs,
I love. Can I just say, I love, as somebody who grew up in the 90s. I love rap beef.
Yeah,
I saw it when, arguably, like, I grew up during a time
beefers.
when some of the best MCs out there were beefing.
Yeah,
you know, like, we saw the extremes, and we saw the pendulum swing from like, hey, I don't like you and you don't like me, to I fucked your wife.
But you know what, I feel like,
and my manager took your life.
This is a good a good segue into the conversation.
Sure.
Because I feel like, for us who grew up in the 90s,
sure,
even though, you know, we were younger, we still have a insight into what we saw rap beefs being.
Yeah, we've seen the evolution of rap beef.
Exactly. So, like, when I think about when we were younger, and you have like Tupac versus Biggie, Nas and Jay-Z,
yes,
Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim,
yes,
like,
you've named 3. Rule of 3, baby.
It's like there was a very specific like recipe of a rap beef, and these days it's very different.
I don't think it's
not very different, but
it's very different. Like, you had rules of engagement.
Yes. Yeah. And I also will say that I feel like now, the way that rap beefs were super polarizing when we were younger, it's not to say they're not polarizing now, but I do feel like there's an interesting dichotomy of people, like, creating rap beefs, as in, like, the labels creating a beef, and then people who are within the industry actually being like, yeah, I don't really fuck with them. Would you say that, or no? Would you agree with that, or no?
I agree. I do agree that rap labels perpetuate they profit and perpetuate the various beefs, because it all translates to, like, listenership. It all translates to dollars, you know, so they have a vested interest in, you know, their young artists beefing with that other artist over there, you know. What was the second part that you said?
I was saying,
yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I think that the labels do perpetuate beef. I also just think, like, there's just a bunch of like, there's various reasons for beef. I tend to gravitate towards the beefs of who is the best artist, who is the most creative rapper, who is the king. I gravitate towards those, like, who's better at this skill, you know what I mean? And if I can come out and take you down lyrically without ever having to get physical with you, or even, you know, if I could put pen to paper, use my mind, use my flow, use my lips, use all of the tools that I have at my disposal to dismantle you and prove to you both that you're not on my level and I'm better than you. Like, I love those beefs. I don't necessarily like the beefs that, like, the drill artists engage in, like, where it tends to be more deadly. You know,
because I know, like I've like heard. You
I have a
listening
distaste
to-
for death.
yeah. Because I mean, I've heard you listening to the various like breakdowns of the hip hop beefs from the younger artists,
Sure,
from like
sure.
especially like Chicago or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. The
And-
Chicago drill scene and
I'm curious. Before we talk about the most recent one, do you feel like these beefs, one, are they manufactured beefs by the labels, or are they just like these kids who are like don't like each other and then they're getting into these arguments that are creating like a larger issue where they're fighting, they're shooting at each other? And also, is this new level of beefing, as in like they're not going to the pen and paper, but they're going to shoot each other or beat each other up or whatever? Do you feel like that is a characteristic of the labels creating a certain narrative of what a rap beef should be, or that these kids are just young and dumb and full of hormones and wanting to get into it with each other without thinking about the long-term repercussions?
if we're just talking about like the younger artists, the artists that are not of my generation, but like I'm not gonna be the old man who's yelling at clouds and saying, you know, like back in my day, like it was more respectful. We got a cardboard box and you know we dance at each other. I'm not gonna say that because like I first off I think that labels are perpetuating but not necessarily creating the dissonance and the destructive elements that are leading these young musicians to want to go at each other, do harm. I think it's just dumb motherfuckers who are young, dumb, and full of like money now. Like they get a few dollars, they get a few $1,000s in their pocket, and all of a sudden, like because they're young and because they're not like their bodies and brains aren't fully developed to like be able to handle emotion, the smallest slight on dumb things like social media or like you know like an Instagram post or somebody, you know, like the amount of I both want to speak on this, but I have to tread lightly. I'm not naming anybody. I'm not throwing anybody's name out there. I just think that it is a young. It's not the rap labels perpetuate it and profit off of it. I just think it's being started by young dumb fucks.
All right.
Quite frankly.
Well, bringing it to the more recent pop culture news.
Okay.
Now, you have heard Drake's song "First Person Shooter,"
which can be found on the album "For All the Dogs."
For All the Dogs.
Yes,
it's Drake featuring J. Cole, and you know, I when I heard it, I mean, I like the song.
First off, it's a banger.
Yeah,
it's a banger. When that song came out, like I banged it.
You've banged it many times.
Yes.
You have Drake saying like he loves listening to fine women talking about who the GOAT.
Say it, Dan. Say it, Dan. Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Yeah.
And then
you know some of Drake's top lyricisms.
Then you have
I feel like you can. Sorry to interrupt you, but I feel like an argument could be made that like Drake has the same level and capacity for lyricism as Kanye, and Kanye lyricism is trash. It's not good. It hasn't been good for a while.
Yeah.
You know when it started to go downhill? Like it started with I'll get a bleacher and she bleached her asshole. And if I get bleach on my shirt, she's gonna feel like an asshole. Like as soon as that happened, I was like, oh,
I think that Drake and Kanye
not good at writing lyrics.
Drake and Kanye both fell off in their lyrics around the same time. Because when I think about Drake's first few mixtapes and albums, like when we were in college, it was like this man was writing, he was working. It was always,
oh yeah, he was talking to all the college girls.
but
Like,
now it's very much like, okay,
yeah, Drake
excuse
was
me.
talking to all the college girls who partied on Friday and Saturday and went to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
And
then
J. Cole was talking to all the college girls who lit incense and smoked sage.
Yeah.
And
I was both.
You were excuse
I
me?
was both and
the
duality. But J. Cole on this song, he's like, love when they argue the hardest MCs with their bullshit.
I got to it late.
Love when they argue the hardest MC. Is it K. Dot? Is it Aubrey or me? We the big three, like we started a league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali. Yeah. Now, I will say when he first said the big three, I thought he was about to make an astrology reference.
I thought he was talking about the big three of This Is Us. Shout out to This Is Us, aka The Cry Show.
But so that came out, and when I say, like, when I listened to this song,
the big three,
I thought this was a nice record. I didn't think about it too much. Only thing that I thought about was, well, if J. Cole is saying, when I first heard the song, I was like, if J. Cole is saying that we're the big three, but I feel like Muhammad Ali, then he's saying he feels like he is the GOAT.
Yeah.
And he's the champion.
He's essentially saying that, like, there's three of us who are great. Of that three, I feel like I'm the greatest.
Yeah. And so now, but like after,
and Drake let him get that off on his own song.
Drake let him get that off on his own song.
Because
so I thought, all right, fine.
He knew Drake is known to, like, he knew he was doing J. Cole a favor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing a J. Cole, because J. Cole, I'm a huge J. Cole fan.
Yeah.
J. Cole has been putting out a consistent amount of high quality work. His music is the most deaf school of music, where you have to sit down and, like,
you have to listen to it, you have to
his
understand
lyrics.
it, you need a dictionary, you need a thesaurus, you need an encyclopedia.
Not even that you have to, like, have a dictionary or anything to listen to it. The fact that you have to listen to the lyrics at all. Like, there are any number of songs that you could just get up, move your body to.
Yeah.
The lyrics could be like any dumb thing, like fucking shake it like a salt shaker. Or, like any number, like to the window, to the walls, to the sweat, drop down my balls. Like,
it's like,
but the beat is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
You don't think about what J. Cole makes music where, like, the beat might be okay, but it's in service to the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Which
have
I appreciate.
to listen, like, essentially, it's not even that you have to listen to the lyrics. You are forced to engage with the lyrics.
Yes, which I would say is similar to Kendrick Lamar.
Yes, very similar.
I think that Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, to me, have a very similar, like, talent level and way that they interact with hip hop and how they elevate it, because they're not just making, like, these party songs. They're making songs that, yes, some of them you could party to, and some of them are like, you have to think about it and they have a greater meaning, which I think is connected to the original rap and hip hop songs, where these people had a message and they were putting it out and they wanted you to listen to it and they wanted you to learn and grow, versus just be like bopping and twerking at a party. Now, speaking of Kendrick, my Gemini brother.
Did we finish the first thing?
Did you have more that you wanted to say about the J. Cole and
no, like, I thought it was and overall, I thought it was a really good song. Like, I didn't even think of it as much of like a diss track or
I didn't think it was a diss track at all.
I think it's just rappers being rappers. Like, everybody gets on, every rapper of any caliber gets on a song and says, I'm the best in some way, shape, or form. That's just rap. Like, one day I want to create a song in every genre where you take rap elements, like the type of rap lyrics that you find in rap, but put them to a different genre. So, like, talk about money, cash, hoes,
Money Cash Hoes.
but it's like techno music.
Listen to that. Money Cash Hoes. Money Cash Hoes. Money Cash Hoes.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I think that would be fun to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would listen to it.
Yeah, I'd listen to it too. Speaking of K-Dot though, see, bringing it back to your
Bring it
segue.
back. K-Dot did not like the Muhammad Ali reference or the
Or
Big Three
we
reference.
don't even know if that's the reference that did it, or he might not have just liked the whole song.
Well, that's true. No, he didn't like the song.
We know that he listens. Like, he goes into his cabin in Compton. In my mind, that's exactly what it is. He's like the rap bear. Like, he hibernates in a cabin in the woods of Crenshaw.
Well,
and he you know, like, he comes out every now and then. He
with
pops his
something.
head out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So he came out
Probably should have
with
used the gopher metaphor than a bear, but it's fine.
well, both.
Yeah.
He came out on a album that Future has with Metro Boomin.
Yeah, Future dropped the new project with Metro Boomin.
And now
called We Don't
Trust You.
I think it's called We Don't Trust You.
I think it's called We Don't Trust You. Yeah, We Don't Trust You.
Yeah, We Don't Trust You.
Now, this was a very interesting album because folks are saying that this is a diss from Future to Drake, and Drake and Future are besties and boyfriends.
They used to be.
They used to be.
They
Now
used
they're
to be.
beefing,
Word on the street is they're beefing over a lady.
who knows?
Who knows?
Folks are saying that this is like when you think about Drake and Future, to me, it's just like fuckboy rap. And
yeah,
honestly,
it's literally the rap that you put. It's the music that you put on
before you cheat.
I was gonna say it's the music you put on when you roll right over, look at them, and be like, "Oh no, no, you thought I was gonna see you again? No. Yeah.
You thought I was feeling you?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Like, but I think about like this Drake really or Future really sounds like heartbroken. Like, damn.
You think that this sounds like heartbreak?
I feel like it sounds like heart compared to Drake Future songs about like the women.
You think he's heartbroken over Drake?
Yeah, it's the manosphere is crumbling.
What are you listening to?
The manosphere is crumbling.
Like, all this is aggressive. I've never listened.
It sounds aggressive.
I don't follow Future as hard as a lot of other musicians and stuff. I like it. I like his catalog of like hits, but I'm not like rushing to a Future album to listen
like
to it
scorn.
from top to bottom. But I listened to this album. It doesn't. It sounds like a dude getting revenge. Like, it doesn't sound like mournful. You know what I mean? Like,
his bestie in the manosphere.
We get, you know what? Two things could be potentially true, and how we interpret things could, you know, be our
now he's upset. Now, honestly, I don't know why Future. Well, similarly, Future had Kendrick Lamar on this song, and Drake had J. Cole on this song.
The song that you're referring to is like that.
Like that. And these are two artists where I'm like, you shouldn't have had the other person on there because Drake is not as good as a rapper as J. Cole, and Future is not as good as a rapper as Kendrick. But Future had a point to make, so he brought Kendrick on here. And a little snippet of what he says. Kendrick says, "Fuck sneak dissing first person shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches."
Mm-hmm.
And then fast forward, he says, "Lost too many soldiers not to play it safe. If you walk around with that stick at 803K, think I won't drop the location. I still got PTSD. Motherfuck the big 3, nigga. It's just big me, nigga." And that was clearly a go at the first person shooter song because he mentioned both first person shooter and the big 3, which the name and piece of the song. And this got the streets talking. Everybody was up in arms.
It was the first time in a long time that people had been, clamoring about like beef.
Yeah, especially for the three of them, because I feel like Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick, beef is very college or like right after he graduated, like very 2020, very 2015.
It was a question of like when they first started out, it was a question of who is the best of those three. And I think the last decade or so, all three of them have carved out niches in their own lane, and to the point where like sneak dissing might happen, like some subs might happen, but by and large, all of them have avoided like proper beef warfare. This is the first time Kendrick has jumped out and said, "Nah, I don't. I'm going to go at you. Like I'm going at. There's no question. This isn't the Heart. You know what I mean? Like this isn't one of his like the Heart records or anything. Like this is like I'm going at your head."
I wish that he would have said names though.
He doesn't need to say names.
I know, but I want everybody to start saying names. I mean, like, I want like if you're mad at somebody, I want you to say their name in the song.
It's not.
Well, it's the added part. I just want to hear him say it. I want to hear him say "fuck Drake," "fuck Kendrick," "fuck J. Cole," "fuck Future." I want to hear him say it. Somebody say it so we can know.
But that's the beauty. That's the beauty of some really good rap beef is when you can go at somebody and you know who you're talking about, even and you don't even have to say their name. Well,
one, what did you think about First Person Shooter, and what did you think about Like That?
I already told you what I thought about First Person Shooter.
Well, sorry, say it again.
I like the song.
Okay, you like the song. Sorry. Okay, now what about Like That? What did you think about?
No, that song. First off, that song bangs. Like I've been bumping that shit. Like it's on my most recent playlist.
But
which, as a side note, I will say one of the small pet peeves that has come out of recent arrangements is that the Spotify, which should not be a shared thing, has become a shared thing, and now my algorithm is completely fucked. Like, it's fine in the long run until the year ends and you get that Spotify year-end wrap-up and all of the data is skewed incorrectly. I'm like, I did not pump Cowboy Carter that much like that. Like, and that's nothing against Cowboy Carter. We'll get into that a little bit later. But boy, oh boy, it's frustrating. I have been playing Like That over and over and over again. I cannot tell you a single line that Future says.
Because who would? First of all, they fade him out of the song.
They fade him out at the very end. I pointed that out.
It's his own
a bunch
song.
Of times.
It's like, why would you
put the song is like, no, wait, Future, come on. You know why people are listening.
You know why? Because it's Kendrick. Nobody cares about what Future's saying. They only care about Kendrick. And he has admittedly, when you look at the bars, Kendrick has done much better. So I mean, Future is just really there for like the good beats and making, something out of nothing.
Back to the topic at hand.
Yes. So Kendrick and J. Cole ethering both of these people on their own songs. Or doing better than both these people on their own songs.
Yes.
And then these songs becoming a part of the 2024 rap beef battle and on somebody's social media timeline calendar for what happened throughout this year. I
heard you in casual conversation reference the Like That verse, and I cringed.
I did. What did I say? I forgot about this. What did I say?
You said the line. You said he said F the big three. It's just big me.
Oh shit!
And I was like, oh,
look at that. Wow.
This is only something Kendrick can say. Like, because
Kendrick's my Gemini brother.
You tried to get that off, and the person that you said it to, I think, just moved right.
First of all, now I want now. I'm like, who did I even say this to? Because I do not remember, and I feel like you're making stuff.
I am not making. It was on a phone call that I just so happened to be in the room for. And do you want me to actually say it out loud or no?
Because I want to know who it was.
It was on the call where your sister told y'all that she got into all the schools.
Oh, lovely.
Yes,
Okay.
and you got that off. It was literally like, yeah, you did.
Wow, I forgot.
Yeah,
Okay, but hey,
and everybody
pop
was
culture.
just like, okay. And
Pop culture. Look at Kendrick's. Look at his influence.
okay, actually, this is what happened. Like, you said that thing, you said it,
Mhm.
you said it, and that's okay.
I said it.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
I did.
And you said it with all the confidence and bravado in the world.
Okay.
And they moved on as if
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Never allowed you to do that. Never allowed you to do jobs. Okay, well, after this
shout
whole,
out to the Cameras movie.
so there was about what do you say? It was about 2 weeks in the media. when
Yeah,
this
that
beef
was 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks.
And
before.
then recently, J. Cole last week,
Yeah, this past Friday,
he dropped
an EP.
an EP called Might Delete Later.
Might Delete Later. Wow, isn't that apropos? Which we'll get into in a little bit.
And he talks about the song on this. He talks about Kendrick on this song, and he says, I'm trying to find the part where he says he's sleepy.
It's
you see it?
It's in the very first thing. Do you see the word sleep? Control F.
I know. I was about to do that when you touched my thing.
Okay, that's okay. The word sleep. Anyhow.
Okay. So Kendrick in response to
you mean J. Cole in response
Oh,
to
sorry.
Kendrick.
J. Cole in response to Kendrick says, I came up in the Ville, so I'm good when it's tension. He's still doing shows, but fell off like The Simpsons. Your first shit was classic. Your last shit was tragic. Your second shit put niggas to sleep, but they gassed it. Your third shit was massive, and that was your prime. I was trailing right behind, and I just now hit mine.
Now, here's the thing. J. Cole is the last person to be talking about somebody's album being sleepy or putting people to sleep. Like, J. Cole, again, I'm a huge J. Cole fan. I love J. Cole. You know what I mean? Like, when Lil Pump had that song called Fuck J. Cole.
Yeah.
I was one of those old heads that was like, how dare you? But no, like people engage with J. Cole's music to listen to it. They're not bumping it for like they're not bumping it at like clubs or parties or even get-togethers or even like hangouts or even what do we usually have here? Kickbacks. Yeah. Nobody's at a game nights, kickbacks, or anything like that because it's just like, yeah, like if I put KOD on, I'm going to go to sleep. It's a lot of
it's a chill music. It's like smoke and drink.
He's a Tribe Called
Quest.
Yeah.
It's a very chill, relaxed atmosphere. Like I'm not bumping him at parties.
Yeah, exactly. No.
And I'm not to say that I'm necessarily bumping a lot of Kendrick at parties either.
Sure.
Because I'm like, okay, Loyalty might be at a party.
Actually, I this is what I will say. Kendrick, this is what I wanted to say as far as J. Cole and Drake. Kendrick can do what both of those people do in their lane.
Yes.
But better.
Okay, yeah.
The damn album was basically Kendrick saying, I can put out a record that will blow up, have catchy in the club songs, like Humble, Loyalty. What else is on that album? It's been a minute since I listened to it.
Yeah, but it's a good. I mean, it's a good album.
It's a good album.
I would say, to me, I do believe. I agree with what you said, that like Kendrick Lamar,
Element.
What's that?
Feel.
Wait, what's Element?
My bad.
Wait,
Element.
what's Element?
Yeah, take me an element. No.
That's not one I can think of. I mean, now that you're saying the beat, I kind of recall it, but like
DNA, come
Humble, Loyalty,
Feel.
Which one? Oh yeah, Feel, yeah. I think that Kendrick definitely does do. He usually will have, like, say for To Pimp a Butterfly. There's probably like most of them are gonna be like cerebral songs.
Mm-hmm.
But there'll probably be at least one or two on there that you'll find people playing in the club.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
which is why I feel like
what J. Cole does as far as like lyricism.
Yeah.
Making songs where you have to sit down and actually listen to what the lyrics are trying to say.
Yeah.
He does what Drake does, which is like catchy, poppy, global music. He does those two things, but better when he focuses but he would rather put out the music that he wants to put out.
Yeah.
And tell a story that he wants to tell.
Because To Pimp a Butterfly, is that the one that won a Pulitzer?
Yes, it is.
So it's like
it has All Right.
I mean, All Right, of course. I mean, yeah. All Right. We are gonna be listening to that forever.
King Kunta.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah. Yeah, name two more.
The Black and the Berry.
Yeah, in hood politics.
I think, like, to me, I mean, I loved Pimp Butterfly. What was the most recent one? Is that Pimp Butterfly?
No, the most recent one is The Big Steppers.
The Big Steppers. That was the one where he had the one where he was arguing with the girl.
Yes.
Okay. And like, to me, The Big Steppers is definitely an album where it's more like a listening album. But I feel like there's probably at least one on there.
There are elements to it
where it's like, oh, I can hear that as a party.
Like they're like N95.
Yeah.
They got the cloud chick. They got the
They
got the idols.
And that's that one you could definitely hear. But I think that's the thing about him is like he will make a whole album and he'll give you one or two songs if you want to, like, you want a fucking party song, here you go.
Yes.
And then that's it. The rest of it is going to be what he wants to do. And like, I think that I would definitely agree. J. Cole.
It's very telling
Drake.
that we started this section of the conversation talking about J. Cole's EP album and like what he just said, and what we ended up going into is Kendrick.
Well, I mean,
feel like that's appropriate.
Funny enough, J. Cole has apologized to Kendrick at his recent Dreamville festival.
Oh, hold on. I don't think we even went over the fact that there's a diss on there. Oh yeah, we did. We my bad. Sorry.
7-minute drills.
Yes.
So recently, J. Cole is doing his Dreamville festival right now in North Carolina, and so before he talks to the audience, or he's talking to the audience, and he's like, basically that he dropped an album and the diss track was basically the lamest shit he's ever done, because he was basically saying, like, I've been in my own lane, I've been doing what feels right to me, and then I tried to like go back at Kendrick. So he said, I try to jab Lamar back and I try to keep it friendly, but at the end of the day, when I listen to it, when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That disrupts my peace. So he also went out to say, like, Dreamville, y'all love Kendrick Lamar, right? And everybody was like yelling and screaming. And people are definitely getting into Kendrick's ass for this. One,
you mean J. Cole's ass?
Sorry, yes. Sorry.
Yeah, we gotta get.
It has nothing to do with the drink,
right.
And 100% to do with, like, there's lots of names running around my head, but
there's 3.
That's enough. That's more than one. I mean,
oh my goodness. Okay.
Anyway,
sure.
I I feel like people will talk about J. Cole being like the incense rapper, like the rapper that he's the epitome of a guy who rides his bike to work and very like grassy and all that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that J. Cole ever really wants to insert himself into beef, not because he couldn't be a battle rapper.
Mhm.
I just think that he feels like he's above it. Now, will I say that Kendrick's rap was better than his? Personally, I can't say which one was better, but I will say that Kendrick in general, what we've seen him do, he is extremely talented. Am I going to say he's more talented than J. Cole? I don't necessarily say he's more talented. Maybe he's had more of the resources and the respect of the community, but also Kendrick is not somebody that ever pops out.
Mm-hmm.
Like he hasn't responded to anything J. Cole has done or said.
Mm-hmm. So you're just on the fence.
I'm on the fence. I think that J. Cole apologizing to him is very on brand for J. Cole.
Yeah.
So I don't think that it was weird or like a disgrace to hip hop. It's a very like J. Cole thing. I just want to be friends. Now the question is J. Cole saying that because he saw that people online were saying his verse was terrible?
That's not what I saw in the discourse from at least what I've been looking at. From what I've been looking at, people have been giving it mixed reactions. Because
definitely mixed reactions is what I saw.
Because the song, it's okay, listen. There is a Mount Rushmore of diss tracks. You know what I mean? Hit 'em up.
Yeah.
Ether.
Yeah.
I would say
two more.
Sheether.
Because Remy Ma.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it wasn't good. It was great, and nothing that Nicki could. Did she even come out with anything after?
She did, but it was terrible. It was Nicki.
It's not.
It was what you would expect. It was what you would expect from Nicki.
Yeah, Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. And Hail Mary by I don't know, like it's hard to come up with the Mount Rushmore but at least Ether.
Yeah.
Like the number one. No Vaseline. There you go.
No Vaseline?
Ice Cube.
Who was that against?
Easy and Dre. No Vaseline?
I
will play No Vaseline for you.
I've heard it before, but honestly, I did not realize it was against Eazy-E and Dre because Eazy and Dre and Ice Cube were all working together.
Oh, honey.
I know they had a beef.
Didn't you see Straight Outta Compton?
No, I didn't.
Oh, and I know the reason why. I know the reason why. We don't have to get into it now. But as far as J. Cole's apology is concerned, I'm of two minds of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm torn. As the healthy 30-something-year-old man, I completely understand the idea of like having regrets, having made a choice and done something that you immediately regret, something that you were proud of, something that you did in the moment that was based off of emotion and looking back at it and immediately regretting it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that. Like I've done dumb shit before. I've done even like stuff that wasn't dumb and stuff that like seemed justified, but then I look back immediately. I'm like, oh man, I don't feel good about that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand the healthy mindset of somebody who in a short amount of time, because like I said, that album came out on Friday and here we are
a week later.
Not even a whole
week.
Like a few days later. Like we're a few days later talking about the apology.
Yeah.
Then there's the other mind of me that's like, motherfucker, like if you did it. You have to own up to it. Like, you can't just apologize. Like, it now you've made things weird. No, he has.
Yeah.
Like, I've never, and this is the first time in hip hop where I've ever seen, like, some people put out stuff and then decades later they're like, like famously Jay-Z was like, oh, like I put out Big Pimpin' and now I have daughters, so now it's weird to say, like, let them play with the dick in the truck. Like, Lou has to hear that at some point.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't feel great about that. Like, it's understandable to have, like, retrospective nostalgia or retrospective regret over some stuff that you did previously in your past. Not a few days later. It's taking the fun. It's taking the fun out of rap beef.
Mm-hmm.
And two, it's making it difficult for, like, it makes me feel like, well, why, like, if this is how things were going to be, Kendrick should have just, now it makes me feel like Kendrick should have just not said anything.
Well,
because now what is Kendrick supposed to do?
He's
like,
not going to do anything. Is
he supposed to like not do anything and accept the apology, or jump out and do something? Like, but now, like, J. Cole just apologized, and now he looks weird.
I feel
because
like
J. Cole apologized and said, like, "Oh, I'll take it on the chin."
He's not going to do anything. He's not going to say anything. But on his next album, he'll probably have, like, I had these.
He'll have the Heart 5. He'll have the Heart 5 or 6, whichever heart we're on.
All right, was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
I'm curious what happens. What will happen post this J. Cole, Kendrick, Future, Drake, or some. I don't think anything happened. J. Cole's not going to say anything else. Kendrick's not going to say anything else. Drake still hasn't said one little thing. People keep saying,
and Drake's not going to.
They keep saying it's because he's on tour.
Drake is not going to say anything.
He's not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Now, music that I have been very happy to have.
Mm-hmm.
And has been warming my soul over the last few weeks. Cowboy Carter. Beyonce came out with her Cowboy Country album on March 29th. And, I mean, I love it. Can't say anything else. I love it.
Yes. I have heard this album a lot.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned previously, this album has been playing ad nauseum in this shared home, shared Spotify, shared a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hearing it a lot. I've heard every single song multiple times. This is a 27 song album.
Mm-hmm.
Look up how many songs Renaissance had.
Okay.
And while you're looking that up, I will say, like, look, you've mentioned before that for anybody who says that this is a country album, it's not a country album, it's a Beyonce album. And what that means is that it's Beyonce doing whatever the fuck Beyonce wants to do. And in this second act of her Renaissance, I question whether or not this is actually called Renaissance, like the Renaissance Saga or whatever it's called. Like
Act 1, Act 2,
Act 1, Act 2. Act 1 was Renaissance. Yeah. Act 2 is Cowboy Carter. We don't know what Act 3 is.
It's probably gonna be a rock album.
We have. Oh my! You know what? Now that's all I want to do is spend this time guessing what genre of music Beyonce is going to do in Act 3.
Renaissance had 16 songs.
16 is a good amount of songs. Yeah. That's a breezy album. That's like 45 minutes.
It was about an hour, I think. Was it
maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes. Like, let's talk about how many songs Cowboy Carter has.
We needed them.
Cowboy Carter has
27 songs.
27. No. First off, some of those aren't songs. Some of those are skits.
Some of them are
Some of the interludes, interstitials, what have you, that add to the accoutrement that is this album.
Mm-hmm.
It is a dearth of songs that you have to go through. Kudos to Beyonce for putting out that much content.
Yeah.
Kudos to her, because she did not have to.
She didn't.
But she did.
She gave it to her.
She put out a record that is both appealing to those who are interested in country,
Mm-hmm.
that are interested in Beyonce,
Mm-hmm.
that are interested. There are songs on here that aren't like super country heavy, that could just literally be R&B or like, you know, some hip hop elements or what have you. Like, or
it's pop country.
But pop country. Like, yes, there are some pop country songs on here. There's like
she does Blackbird and Jolene, which are very, you know, I would say mainstays in the country, arsenal of music.
Yes.
And then you have new songs, of course, Texas Hold'em,
and 16 Carriages.
16 Carriages.
Those were the lead songs for this project. I want to make it clear that just because my tone is of this ilk, it does not mean that I have disdain for this album. I listened to this album, and there's a lot to like about this album. I don't like the people that play this album because y'all are fucking annoying. But if I'm just critiquing the art itself, not bad. Yeah, really good.
I mean,
really good work.
Beyonce
did a really good job at making an album. Again, she fucking we knew she could.
That's
Lemonade, Renaissance. She knocked it out the park again. What else is there to say?
I would say, like, it's hard for me. Well, no, it's not hard for me to pick a favorite, because I would say, like, my favorites are American Requiem, Blackbird, Protector, Dolly P.
I like Yaya.
Yaya, of course, because Yaya is a very, like, it definitely is a homage to Tina Turner. Like, I remember when we first listened to the album, I could picture her in concert doing Yaya, and it being like a very like Tina Turner-esque reminiscent performance. And even I was surprised, but I even like Levi Jeans with Post Malone, which I wouldn't have been surprised. I was surprised that I actually like it.
People have been saying online that Beyonce got him to take a shower before she got him on the song. He does sound cleaner.
She cleaned him up.
He was actually singing very clean on Levi's.
I appreciate. And you know, Dolly Parton was on several songs on this album. Linda Martell, who was a Black R&B artist who tried to cross over because she's from the South and she wanted to do a country album in the 60s, 70s, but was, you know, pushed out and kept out from the market because even though Black people created country music, white folks have tried to keep us out again and again. Same as with rock music, and same with the dance music, which is why I think the next Act 3 is going to be a rock album.
A Beyonce rock album would be interesting as fuck.
Oh, I would love. The thing is,
I would put it to this: if you're gonna go rock, I say go all the way and just make death metal. Just have Beyonce make a death metal album.
Fuck me, free.
16 carriages.
It's a lot. Listen, death metal.
Oh my god,
a lot of breath work.
Even just that little bit hurt my fucking.
It's
throat.
a lot.
Yeah,
to do death metal. Like you need to be talented.
You have to be talented.
But I mean, I love this. I just want to say this one thing. Please, Beyonce, give me a few months to a year before you announce another concert.
No, please. No.
Please.
And unfortunately, it's gonna. You went. I was about to say something that was gonna be a little bit fucked up, but I didn't.
Say?
But I didn't mean it in a fucked up way.
Say it. We're gonna.
You picked a bad time to quit your job because Beyonce came out. Like you quit your job and then Beyonce came out.
She said to quit our jobs. She said it. She told us.
In which song?
Break my soul. She said, "You won't break my soul. I just quit my job. I just fell in love." She said it. She told us to do it. She told me, Beyonce.
That was.
You told me to do it. So you have to wait until I'm back to being employed.
We're on Act 2 now. So you're still going off of Act 1 stuff. Like everyone has moved on to Act 2. Bianca Belair and Jade.
Oh my god, they look so cute.
Cargill and Naomi are wearing cowboy outfits.
Every black person that you're gonna see in the next
every black woman and black
is
person
going to be in cowboy-esque attire. So just get ready for it.
And I want to see how long it takes for you to realize those boots are fucking terrible.
They're uncomfortable. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, I want to see some pictures of some fucked up toes after you done.
Everybody knows that they're uncomfortable
with Texas Hold'em dancing. You know what I mean?
Cotton Eye Joe.
Because and it's not cutting it to wear your Timberlands. Like you have to get these boots.
You need to have the cowboy boots.
You have to have the cowboy boots.
Well, the good news for Beyonce is that Cowboy Carter has made history.
I'm going to let you go off on this
because you have to go to the bathroom.
Because I have to go to the bathroom.
All right.
This is live.
So she reached number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart and sold more with 407,000 album units sold, which is amazing, especially during the time of streaming. It's her 8th number 1 on the chart, so across genres. So I feel like we should just constantly say, listen, what can Beyonce do? Anything she wants. She's extremely talented. She's extremely dedicated to her craft. And if you tell her she can't do something, she's going to find a way to do it. Like having Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson and Post Malone on and Miley Cyrus on the album, it wasn't just because she likes their music. It's like, how can I make sure to get myself on the CMT Awards or listed as a country song? You're not going to keep me out if I have country music folks on the album. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Are you saying we can't pause? We can't pause it?
No, we can't.
Why not?
What do you mean? This is being recorded live.
Yeah, but can't we pause? Look, that button right there. It says pause recording. At the top, next to end recording. Pause. Can you pause it?
With more of this thing that we've been doing.
I'm Black and Snerdy
on the Black and Snerdy podcast, yes. If I had known about the pause button on here, I would have done the drop for it. But
what's the drop?
You're listening to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
Oh, great. That's good.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine though. Okay, so what is next? Or did we come to a final consensus as far as Beyonce? I know that you rattled off some stats.
Uh-huh.
And Beyonce is queen.
That's
it.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
She's your queen to be.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll always be queen, and she's gonna continue doing whatever the fuck she wants.
Okay, cool. Now, what's next then?
All right. Well, in sad news, Chance the Rapper and his wife, is it Kirsten Corley, are heading for divorce after 5 years of marriage.
Yeah, that's Kirsten.
Yeah. They said they put out an iOS press release that said, after a period of separation, the two of us have arrived at the decision to part ways. And we came to this decision amicably and with gratitude for the time that we spent together. We kindly ask for privacy and respect as we navigate this transition.
So, if you recall, Chance's last album, Chance's third album,
Yeah.
The Big Day, was dedicated to his wife.
Yes.
It was not good.
Was it not good because it was dedicated to his wife? Or
No,
because...
it was a myriad of things. As somebody who listens to that album one like song after another, because I'm a big Chance fan, and
Really?
I gave it a chance. Yeah,
Did you like? Gave it a chance.
I gave it a
Did
chance.
you like the coloring book?
Yeah, the coloring book. It's just coloring book.
Oh,
yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
And so what?
No problem.
What would you say was the difference between this album and the coloring book?
It weirdly felt lazy. It's so weird that an album could feel lazy while also keeping in theme. Like the influences that he had on his previous albums, and also he felt hungrier like back then. Like it just seemed lazy. Like Hot Shower, like there wasn't a hard like contemplative bar on that album.
Yeah.
Hot Shower was as deep as it fucking got.
Honestly, to me, I thought that he made this album only because his wife got mad at him for winding up.
That
folks
happened after the album.
Oh, it was after.
Yes, chronologically speaking, he put out that album dedicated to his wife. I love my wife.
Maybe he put that out because she had already saw the photos and was like, "Hey, look, I love my wife."
This is years apart.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that thing that you're talking about happened like what, like a year or two?
I thought it was a year or two ago. When did
after?
It was after. I don't follow Chance the Rapper enough, so to me they were like back-to-back things because it was like how I heard about him and then getting in trouble with his wife and with internet for being at Carnival, and then I heard about this album, so I did not realize that they were not in like the same time frame.
Yeah, well, you know, you had your chance to figure that out, and so did Chance, and he blew it.
No second chance at love.
No second chance at love. No. He should have a reality show called A Second Chance.
He should.
Yeah, but no, in all seriousness though, like no one ever, here's the thing. No one their iOS statement seems to be like that this thing is amicable. Nobody, all jokes aside, nobody who gets a divorce is bummed. You know what I mean? Like,
why don't you say that they're not bummed?
If a divorce is happening more times than not, when a divorce is happening, it's because 50% of that couple are really interested in not being with the other person.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's both of those people who are not interested in being with that other person. I guarantee you there's no divorce that happens where both these motherfuckers are like, man, we're getting a divorce and it sucks because we really want to be with the other person.
No, I feel like there are mitigating circumstances that
it's either half of them wants to leave or they both want to get.
I feel like it's like with divorces. It's that even if you're the person who wants to leave, you would still be sad because you're like, I loved this person, I wanted to be with them, but for whatever reason, we couldn't make it work.
Yeah, but your sadness tank is only filled up, let's say 25 to 50%.
Okay.
It's not going past that 50% because the other 50% to 75% is like get out of here and go, as a side note, a friend of mine is dating somebody who got divorced, and I'm looking forward to hearing about those conversations. I won't say who, but I'll just put it this way. I look forward to hearing those conversations.
I mean, listen, it's always an interesting conversation.
Yeah, like we're now at the age where we know people who are getting divorced or have gotten divorced.
Yeah. That's why people say you shouldn't worry about, like, if you're in your 30s or whatever and you haven't found someone, because there's a new crop of.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely
all the people that got married in their 20s and early 30s. Like,
all you have to do is wait. They're coming.
They're coming out.
Oh, they're realizing that they fucked up in their 20s.
Just wait for them.
Just wait for them. Oh, and they're gonna be on the mend.
Yep.
Although an argument could be made that all those people, because like Chance is one of those. Like he got married young.
He spent his 20s married with a person.
Let's get a Chance album where Chance is just a hoe.
He's going through his hoe phase.
Yes,
I want to hear it.
Where Chance is going
and I want his
phase.
ex-wife to make one where she's going through her hoe phase.
Is she into music at all?
I don't know, but I want to hear it.
Sure. All right, that's fair.
And speaking of hoe phases.
This?
No. Right above it.
For real? It's not a great transition.
Well, there's someone who is a big hoe, for show. And that is being...
allegedly.
Allegedly. That is being currently indicted, charged, investigated.
They're being investigated, I think. Yeah, Diddy
is being investigated. Now, this is what we know.
No Diddy.
No,
I've been saying no Diddy. Hashtag no
we
Diddy.
know that a few months ago, last year, Cassie was a part of the New York State, when New York State, it was 2022, said if you've been assaulted by someone, you can file a court case against them within this time frame.
Yeah, within like a year.
And in November, I believe, I believe we talked about this. She got she and Diddy had a settlement.
Yes.
And then we thought that was it. And then the next thing you know, Diddy was being accused of many other crimes.
The floodgates open.
If
you have one roach, you have multiple
more.
roaches. If you have one mice, as a certain boss would say, you have Mises.
And so we have learned in the last few months about Diddy and various women he's dated and been partnered with. One of his producers, a male producer who's worked with him, and a lot of them allegations are very similar, that they were drugged, that they had been drugged and forced to participate in sexual activity that they did not want to. And so we have now had all of these floodgates opening up. And then, what was it, last week, 2 weeks ago? His house in Miami was breached by SWAT teams. His sons, Justin and Quincy, were arrested. And Diddy was nowhere to be found. Where is Diddy? We don't know. Now, there were several like sky scanners that were saying he went to Cape Verde, he went to this Caribbean island, that Caribbean island, he went to Bali, whatever. They were all guessing. We don't know where he is. We don't know the depths of the difficulties he's facing. We saw pictures of him at Miami airport skulking around, like he was crying. But it sounds like chickens are coming home to roost. But it also sounds like he thinks he's going to get away with it, because this weekend he posted up a video for what was that video?
It was Victory.
The
music video for the song
that came out in the early
90s. That came out in the 90s. I would say that, like, legitimately, as we always say on this podcast, he was clearly trying to buy NBC.
Yes.
And then this happened. No. Like, this is actually the first major, like, bust from, like, the United States against a hip-hop figure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think the closest second I can remember is that weird Bronco chase
Mhm.
of what was the name of that dude
O.J.
who did
Simpson?
it? Yeah, he did it. OJ Simpson. Yeah. Sorry.
OJ did it.
OJ did it. Yes. Orange Juice did it. Diddy. We don't know.
I believe he did it.
I'm saying Diddy.
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 Diddy. I think that
we don't know.
What we know about Diddy is that he's power hungry, that he has no respect for other people.
Yes.
And that he always wants to prove that he is like the king. So in that, the parameters of that, I believe 100% of what everyone is saying. We know, just thinking about Cassie's situation, we know that she had cut her hair, and that directly correlates with her cutting her hair because he like ripped her hair out, and she needed a new style. There was a woman, I think her last name is Wynn, who came out, and I remember a few months before his Break Baby came out with him and JT, she said that he had beat her up while they were together, forced her to get an abortion. And then most recently, one of his producers, Rodney Jones, said that he had possibly been drugged, that JT's cousin had tried to tell him, that he had taken part in various, and that he would, and none of this to me sounds outrageous. Like when you watch Making the Band,
Mm-hmm.
and you see how Diddy was being extremely toxic and power hungry then, I don't think that it changes to now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that anyone who has the money to be able to get themselves out of situations, I don't believe they change their stripes. They just do it differently to see when they're going to get caught, if they're going to get caught. And I don't think that Diddy believes truly that he's going to see jail time for anything that might have happened. I think it's just like
maybe that's the case, but this is Homeland Security.
It is.
Where Homeland Security, the government, doesn't just raid your house if they're not sure.
It's true.
Like, cops will break down a door accidentally, like, oh, we got the wrong intel. Give us more money. You know, like, that's just the cops' MO.
But that's why I feel like there's no way he's innocent.
Homeland Security only comes when they're like, no, we know that the hard drives are in this particular room.
Yeah.
Get out of our way. We need to go get
them. Part to me that's the most fucked up about this, regardless of whatever else he's done, is that he has, one, implicated his children, and two, left them there to be, even though they were detained and let go. But like he literally fucked off and left his children.
He literally was like, "I'll be back. I'm going out for a pack of smokes. I'm going to get some milk." Back.
BRB. Like because the thing is, if he's left the country, if you have implicated your children, why wouldn't you take them with you? So it's like he's just like an ain't shit person on so many levels.
Yes,
you are ain't shit because you would be using your power in ways that are disgusting. But on top of that, you're bringing your children into this nefarious business.
I think it's all bad. Like,
and then on top of that, you just literally left your children to fend for themselves. He really is. Was it Empire? Was his name Andre?
Can I level with you? I never watched Empire. It seemed to be, you know what? I watched one episode. I think Taraji P. Henson was kidnapped in the woods. That should tell you how weird Empire was?
Yes, it was. It was very weird.
It was you know what? It was a weird period where prestige black television was also black television where the storylines went off the rails real quickly.
Yes.
Like, and I chalk it, and the big three is Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, and Empire. All
you
three
would put
of them.
Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder with Empire?
All three. I feel like there's an episode of Scandal where somebody is imprisoned.
I mean, yes, that's happened multiple times.
Like, no, but like kidnapped in prison, not in jail in prison.
Yeah, no, there was one episode where Kerry Washington, Olivia Pope was.
Why is there always a kidnapping? What is going on with writers? Writers write from influence. What is writers being influenced in the 2010s?
I think that
sorry,
Diddy
We're back
and
on
Dre
Diddy.
from Empire
We're
are the
back
same
on
people
Diddy,
because he would on Empire he would 100% let his children been the scapegoats, and that the fact that Diddy would allow his children to even
it's looking like that's the reason why he had kids. If I'm being honest, like this is some dark shit to go down, but like just and I'm not saying this is true. All this is alleged, but hypothetically speaking, if you had all this money, right, and like you had all of this like power and influence, you gotta know that at some point, like you have to have like a contingency plan.
Yeah.
At some point, you know what I mean? Like just it's like the equivalent of having go bags if you're a prepper.
Yeah.
You know, just like if the shit hits the fan, you gotta have a plan. That's all it is. And what if in his plan, his contingency plan involved let's get taken around for some stuff.
Listen,
for the family business.
I wouldn't be surprised.
For the family business.
Because he is that sort of megalomaniac that would allow that to happen. So we're still waiting on more information to see what's going to happen to him. Where we don't even know where he is at this point. I just, I definitely feel bad for the twins.
Did he disappear?
Did he disappear? Did he did it? And
did he disappear?
We don't know, but we know he's not where he should be.
Now you see it, like now you see him. Now you Diddy. Is that anything? No, I'm trying too hard.
But I think that honestly,
did you see him? Diddy don't.
Hip hop needs its Me Too call to like they need to have their Me Too movement because it has not happened.
Didn't we already have it?
No, because because even with Russell Simmons, Drew Dixon had a whole documentary that's on HBO that you can watch right now.
HBO Max. I remember the weekend it came on HBO Max. Never got promoted. It was just it showed up, and I was just like, "What's this?" Oh, okay.
It was a very good documentary. I like.
Okay. I like music documentaries, and then I watched it. I was like, "Oh."
Like Drew Dixon has been talking about hip hop for the longest time, and it has not gotten the Me Too movement.
Yeah, and he fucked off to Bali or some shit.
Yeah, and that's why everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that's where Jay's gonna be next," because there's no extradition. But I'm very curious, like if there's a hip hop Me Too movement, who is going to come out and who is going to be outed, how that's going to be. And I think it's necessary because I think there are many of these places where folks have never had to be held to account for their actions. And we need that to happen.
There's a larger conversation that could be had about this because I for one, think that it's sadly we are a forgiving people and it literally takes like 30, 40, 50 people like coming out of the woodworks to say something about one individual, let alone a track record of stuff happening within an industry perpetrated maybe one time, two times or something by individuals, but even still like those things are happening and they're being perpetrated and they're being covered up and like protected and stuff. Like it's gonna sadly look how much it took to get R. Kelly out of here. Like, that's how much it takes.
Yeah.
It takes a football field of women victims to get him out of here. And even then, there's still gonna be fucking aunties who are gonna be like, well, you know, I like his music still.
Yeah. It's true.
I like Move Your Body Like a Snake, Ma, you know?
It's never a like a foolproof thing, but at least us knowing that's the bare minimum.
Yeah. The bare minimum. Yeah.
So
it's gonna take a crew of investigators like they did with the Nickel. That's what we should talk about next time. We'll talk about that next time. We'll talk about that next
Nickelodeon.
time. Yeah, nasty Nickelodeon.
Oof.
But we will talk about that.
I just hope that all of the victims of Diddy and his associates, allegedly, the alleged victims, I hope that they get what they need and desire out of this circumstance, whether that's money, whether that's jail time, whether that's just acknowledgement,
some sort of justice.
Like, I believe that they deserve that, and I hope that regardless of who it hits, that in hip hop and R&B there is going to be a renaissance of justice.
Yes.
So, you know, we'll see.
I was gonna say something. Felt like it would be inappropriate. Because I heard you say a renaissance of justice. And I was gonna say how many parts in there. Anyhow,
3
parts.
Yeah, so, moving on from
Renaissance justice, cowboy justice, and death metal justice.
Yeah.
We don't have that much left, right?
Well, we just wanted to talk about Gerard Carmichael and the woes of.
You see how long we've been going, right?
I don't. I can't see this. Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So do you want to keep Gerard for the next time?
Yeah, let's do that next time, and
Okay.
let's do that last thing next time too.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then this is it.
Yeah, that's it.
This is our episode 101.
We did it.
We did it.
For those of y'all who are listening for the first time, please let us know what you think.
And if you're listening to if you've listened to us many times, still let us know what you think.
Please like and subscribe. Share this with everybody that you know.
Comment on YouTube,
we love
on
feedback.
Apple Music,
Tell
on
us the
Spotify.
things that you like, that you didn't like. Tell us
We want to
the
hear it.
things. We want to hear everything. Everything and anything and anything and everything. Okay?
It's going to be useful.
Yes. So until then, I'm Maurice.
I'm Hode.
And this has been the Black and Snerdy podcast. Oh, I did not put the outro on the video clips. I wonder if maybe
I'm just add now. That's an intro. Outro right there.
Yes.
We got it.
All right, there we go.
We're doing it.
And goodbye.
Goodbye, my old friend.
And this doesn't have the thing, so I'm gonna have to do this.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorice is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E, and on Twitter THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy podcast, where nerds of a feather rock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.